Hey everyone, Chris McGinnis here. So, Rule 34 states that if it exists, there is porn of it on the internet. I don't know how true that is, or who came up with this rule, but for argument's sake, let's just go with it and say, yes, they're right. I would assume that there is a similar rule that states if it exists, there's fanfiction of it on the internet. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. And since for the better part of almost 3 months now I've been involved in a local production of The Music Man, I thought to myself, wonder if there's any Music Man fanfiction out there. Yes. Yes, there is. At least 100 examples exist on fanfiction.net alone. 20-some are in the play/musical category under Music Man, and 80-some are in the movies category under Music Man. Yes, I'm well aware it was a stage musical before it was a movie, but, you know, whatever, internet, whatever. So I was looking through some of these and thought, I wonder if any of these would make for a good Let's Read. And I found one. The lucky winner is a story by Xmogi, small x capital M, then small M-O-E-G-I. So we'll just say Xmogi for short. It is entitled A Mary Sue in River City. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with some of the terminology used with fanfiction stories, a Mary Sue is a female character that is often used as an author avatar inserted into the story. Often this original character is put in the story to represent the author, and usually has the character being perfect in every way possible, and very often the plot revolves around, ooh, this character is so hot, my character's gonna get to make out with him, yay! And it looks like that this is more of the same. Except it's set in the Music Man universe. The brief summary tells us that a girl named Annabelle Brittany Elvira Shin arrives in River City, and how does she cope with all the men falling in love with her and all the women becoming jealous? Just fine, because she's perfect like that. And lists that there will be potential romantic crossovers with Harold, Marcellus, Winthrop, Charlie Cowell, Constable Locke, and all 4 members of the Barbershop Quartet. This is gonna sting. Well, might as well get on with it. So, let's read A Mary Sue in River City. A Mary Sue in River City by Xmogi. Rated T for teen. Genre, parody/humor. Author's note. I swore I'd never write one of those fake Mary Sue stories, but it called to me to do it for Music Man, and so I did. Good sign. Chapter 1. Annabelle's First Love. Or as it's called on the chapter search bar on fanfiction.net, perfect enough for instant undying love. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Annabelle Brittany Elvira Shin who was amazingly beautiful and perfect in every way. She was just the right height, weighed only 86 pounds, most of which was her 34D boobs, had long purple, pink, blue, green, and orange hair, and piercing red eyes. Long purple, pink, blue, green, and orange hair. Yeah. This is exactly the kind of hairstyle I see someone having in 1912. River City, Iowa. At the age of 22, she was the real oldest daughter of Mayor Shin and his wife Eulalie, but she lived in Los Angeles and was kept a secret from River City, Iowa, because she was meant for much better things. No, even in 1912, Los Angeles people would not have multicolored hair like that. There, she became super rich and awesome for her amazing talents, and then decided to relocate to River City because her fans were just too persistent. She moved back in with her parents and two jealous sisters, Zanita and Gracie. "It's so great to have you back home, darling favorite daughter," declared the mayor as he and his wife looked on adoringly. As soon as they left, Zanita began glaring. Gracie burst into tears and ran out of the room because she knew she could never be as pretty as her big sister. "Hello, sweet younger sister," Annabelle said, not bothered by Gracie's reaction. She was used to it. "I hate you already," Zanita hissed. "Why ever would you hate me?" Annabelle asked with a bit of sadness. Lots of girls hated her because she was so pretty and perfect, but it still always hurt. She couldn't help it that she was so amazing. "Don't think you're going to be able to steal my Tommy from me just because you're so perfect," Zanita shrieked in anger. "I'm not allowed to date him, but he sees me secretly anyway. He wouldn't keep a secret from Papa for you, only for me. You are stupid." Annabelle was smart and enough of a genius to know that it was better not to respond to her sister, or else the situation would only get worse. It was at that moment when the window was thrown open and a very handsome young man, who was miraculously no longer Zanita's age but older, climbed in. "Hiya, Tommy," said the stupid girl. "This is my ugly and stupid sister. I was just telling her how much more you love me." Ow, my brain. "How could you?" Tommy Gillis declared in horror, taking Annabelle into his arms. "She was the most beautiful, gentle, amazing, perfect, smart, pretty, and perfect girl in this whole universe, and you are a demon in comparison. I can no longer date you and must be with her now. I love her." "Oh, Tommy, you are so romantic that I'm at a loss for words," said Annabelle in her sweet voice that could charm anyone in the world. "It doesn't matter. You don't have to say anything. I will always love you no matter what." With that, he placed a passionate kiss upon her lips, but it was not her first because she was so beautiful that many men fell instantly in love with her and would kiss her at random. However, she was not a slut because she did not tell them to go after her and she couldn't help her perfection. Also, she had never been in love before. I'm only halfway through the first chapter and I hate this. He held her tightly in his arms and jumped out the window. The two soared to the ground as Zanita watched angrily and angrily declared she hated her perfect older sister even more. Gracie was still crying. "What are you doing?" demanded the mayor as he saw the two lying outside. "Tommy's a bad man. He wasn't good enough for that slut Zanita. He is not good enough for my perfect Annabelle." "No, Papa, you are wrong," cried Annabelle in misunderstood anguish. "Tommy is wonderful and handsome, and I am deeply in love with him. You must allow him to be with me." "Well, if my Annabelle says he's good, then he must be." "Thank you, Papa," she said joyfully as Tommy whispered into her expensive sport car that's completely inappropriate to the time setting. "Why? I love you," he declared again and again as they drove through the town and everyone watched adoringly as the beautiful woman rode by. She was already extremely popular, but of course she was. She was the perfect sort that everyone loved as soon as they saw her. She was used to it. She didn't know all that would be happening within the next few weeks, but she would soon have many romantic adventures in River City where love would wait for her and every man she came across. She was just perfect like that. Author's notes. I'm enjoying this way too much. In the next chapter, the barbershop, not the barbershop quartet, but the actual barbershop itself, apparently, Marcellus and maybe Harold will fall in love with her. I don't know if I'm going to introduce Harold yet, but all those guys, plus Winthrop, Charlie, and the constable, are going to fall for her, and every girl will hate her and be jealous. I really am having too much fun, though. I'm starting to get attached to old Annabelle, but once she steals Charlie's heart, I might be a little jealous. Oh well, she's used to having authors hate her. She's just perfect like that. Next chapter, which, thank God, is the last chapter. Author's notes. Here it is, Chapter 2, more of the ever-so-perfect Annabelle. Chapter 2, Annabelle Saves River City. Or, as it says in the chapter search bar, 2, Perfect Enough to Cheat. After running around in the perfect afternoon with the love of her life, Annabelle got out of the car to explore the city. "Annabelle, darling, perfect love of my life, where are you going?" Tommy cried in distress at the thought of being away from the perfect girl whom he loved with all his heart. "Please, Tommy, don't be so clingy. I must go see the rest of the town. Try to live without me for a few moments," she said in her perfectly sweet voice that is much sweeter than the candy she can eat hundreds of without getting fat because she is perfect. "I will for you, my love, but I don't know how I could ever live without your perfection in my life." Annabelle smiled and walked away to explore the town when suddenly she came across 4 men arguing, but stopped when she appeared. They took one look at her and they all fell in love instantly because she was beautiful and absolutely perfect. "I'm Olin. I love you." "I'm JC. I love you more and I am better for you." "No, no, no. I, Oliver, love you the most, for you are perfect and beautiful." "She is perfect and beautiful, but I love her the most and she should be with me forever and always. My name is Ewart and you should marry me, Miss Perfection." They proceeded to argue over her, something she was used to because she was so perfect. Still, a perfect girl hates to see people fight, so she tried to come up with a way to make them stop. Suddenly, the idea hit her. She was very smart and also a musical genius, so she could hear that they could sing well together. "Stop the fighting and all of you begin to sing," she declared, and they listened out of love to her. Their voices fit perfectly, and they became a barbershop quartet. While they all still loved Annabelle, they wouldn't fight because they promised her they wouldn't, and they couldn't hurt the girl that they were so very in love with. She meant the world to all of them. Their wives, however, were very jealous and hated her. "I am so much prettier," said Alma. "I am much better than her," said Maud. "Just because she's perfect doesn't mean anything," said Mrs. Squires. "I still have Marcellus, and that stupid, ugly witch won't steal him from me," said Ethel. "I love Caps Lock!" the other 3 all yelled at once. Really? Boy, meta-humor's funny in fanfics, isn't it? Back to the story. Little did Ethel know, Marcellus had already caught sight of Annabelle Brittany Elvira Shin, and he loved her with all his heart, completely forgetting he had ever known Ethel. Annabelle was just too perfect for him to forget. "Annabelle, I love you," he proclaimed. "Be with me forever or more, for I love you more than anyone ever can." "But I am already with Tommy, and a perfect girl does not cheat. I am too good to cheat. I am perfect and nice and amazing." "Yes, you are," Marcellus agreed. "But couldn't you? Just for me? Oh, your love is so strong, and I've always longed to be rebellious, so I will have a secret love with you. I will. I am the happiest man in the world. I love you more than life itself." And even though she was cheating on Tommy by being with Marcellus, Annabelle was not a bad person because she was too perfect to have only one love in her life. She just had to be with her Marcellus and her Tommy. She went home that night and walked past a glaring and jealous Anita. "You stole my Tommy away." "I'm sorry, sister, but I cannot help it that people fall in love with me." "You're a stupid, terrible bitch," screamed Zanita, going to slap her. But at that moment, the barbershop quartet sensed the danger of their love and sang their way in front of her to protect her. Olin took the hit. "You gotta be kidding me." "Oh, poor Olin," sobbed Annabelle as Zanita angrily stormed away, all jealous like. "I'll recover," he said. "It was all worth it for you, and we'd take worse hits just to see you smile." "We all would," said JC. "It's because you're perfect," added Ewart. "We love you," finished Oliver. "I am so blessed to be so perfect and so loved," said Annabelle, because she is very beautiful and graceful and perfect. They soon left, and she walked into her room where Gracie was going through her clothes. "I'm sorry, almighty sister," she said. "I only want to know your secret. How do you have such beautiful yet totally time-inappropriate outfits?" "When you're perfect, it just sort of happens," said Annabelle, who wore denim miniskirt, sparkly high heels, a tight purple top, and real diamond jewelry. Gracie, distressed that she would never be this perfect, burst into tears and ran out of the room, unable to handle such perfection. Annabelle was still used to this, so she lay down in her bed. Suddenly, Tommy appeared in her window. "I love you so much," he said, "and so I came here to tell you how much I love you and how perfect you are. I would also like to kiss you good night." "Tommy, you are so sweet." She kissed him. But their kisses soon turned very passionate until they... Censored faux dirty contents. They seriously wrote that in all types. In all caps and bold. Censored faux F-O dirty contents. C-O-N-T-E-T-Z. Oh, and here's a parenthesis. Actually, I just didn't want to write out what sort of sparkly pants sex a suit would have. I hate this. "Oh, Tommy, that was amazing," she said. "No, I fear I'm not good enough for you," he said. "What are you talking about? You are a much better lover than me. You are too perfect." "This is true, but I love you anyway," she said, because she was perfect and understanding and compassionate. "You are perfect and understanding and compassionate," he said as he left her. Then Marcellus appeared at the window and said the exact same things Tommy said. In fact, the entire scenario was just like it was with Tommy, despite them being different characters with different personalities, and the original scenario being out of character for either of them in the first place. Annabelle was just so perfect that it always happened like that. Author's note. Next time, Harold enters the scene, and we begin the events of the musical Annabelle Fied. Yeah, that didn't happen. This was published on March 7th, 2011, and updated on March 20th. March 7th, 2011, and updated March 20th, 2011. Nothing has been done to this story in close to 6 months. I'm sorry, 8 months. Wow, it's been a long week, and reading this made my brain dissolve into mush. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say that we're probably not going to hear much more about Mary Sue, Annabelle Shin. And this has one review written by Shadow King 1988. In stitches. Bravo! You have reminded me why I read Mary Sue / Gary Stu Fix. They always make me laugh. The, love scene was particularly amusing. Obviously, this is some strange definition of the word amusing I was not previously aware of. Alright, you know what? That's it. I'm done with this video. Thankfully that was short and not as painful as previous installments, but still enough to make me feel dead inside. I'm honestly glad that this character of Annabelle does not exist, because, honest to God, I would throttle her. I know the story has Oliver Hicks of the Barbershop Quartet falling in love with her, but trust me, my interpretation of Oliver Hicks on stage would not give this egomaniac the time of day. So, thank God she's a fictional character, thank God she's not real, and thank God I'm done reading this. So, thanks again for checking out Let's Read. I'm Chris McGinnis, and since this is being recorded on Thanksgiving Eve, happy Thanksgiving.